I hear from many sources to get your money out of the bank. Where is it recommended to put your money other than gold and silver? Are the money market accounts safer than the checking and savings accounts? The answer to that is absolutely.
In this exclusive interview, Lynette will unravel banking secrets, share insights on protecting your wealth during times of global turmoil, and provide valuable perspectives on navigating the complex world of finance. Whether you're a seasoned investor or just starting to explore the world of finance, this conversation is packed with wisdom and actionable advice. So, without further ado, let's jump into the discussion with Lynette Zang.
Global financial system, to be honest with you. And I think that's something, this is an election year, so they're going to try and keep things calm at the moment to get through this election year. Let's see if they can or not. That's going to be the interesting story. What we know is that Wall Street has changed their tune on the likelihood of 6 rate declines by the Fed. And, so we'll see, because the Fed is still talking about higher for longer. But remember, we have wall of debt, a ginormous wall of debt that's coming due. And whenever you have debt, you have to pay it, you have to roll it over, or you're going to default on it. So we'll see what happens with all those zombie corporations. And are the banks even going to want to keep those zombie corporations alive? Can they afford to do that at this point? And remember, a zombie corporation is a corporation for at least 3 years. They have not been able to pay all the interest due on the debt. Forget touching any of the principal. So, it made sense when the banks didn't want to show those losses on the books, but there are going to be an awful lot of losses that are coming up that I don't know if they're going to be able to hide them or not. We're going to find out, aren't we? And Sandra S. asks, if at some point the price of gold and silver rises sharply and I want to sell to pay off my mortgage, will I have to pay capital gains tax first? Well, Sandra, of course, all good citizens pay all taxes that are due. And by the point that that happens, what I do not know, though I would guess, is that the CBDCs, the central bank digital currencies, and all of that tracking is in place. And it kind of depends. Yes, of course, you should pay your capital gains tax. Whether or not we will have to report it to the authorities at this juncture, well, right now we don't. Could that change in the future? Yes, it could. But it's still better than not having it at all to work with. Okie doke. And Jen O asks, I hear from many sources to get your money out of the bank. Where is it recommended to put your money other than gold and silver? Are the money market accounts safer than the checking and savings accounts? The answer to that is absolutely no. Money market accounts are mutual funds, and they fund the plumbing of the global system. And, it froze in 2019, and just with a shift in lots and lots of money printing, did it get covered over? So I'll answer the first one first. No, the money market accounts are not safer than a checking and savings account. At least those are kind of backed by FDIC. And I say that with pain because, as I said a little bit earlier, they don't have the money. I mean, they're okay if one small bank goes out or another small bank goes out. But you saw what happened last March and April, where they had to get bailed out because they didn't have enough money to pay just those 3 banks. And then since then, subsequently, more have failed. So they need to keep that hidden so there is not a run on the bank. Now, as far as get your money out of the bank, I'm running a business, right? So there is a certain level of cash, and you likely have some auto withdrawals and things like that because people set that up for convenience. So there's a certain level of cash that you do want to keep in the bank, but it is not more than what you feel comfortable losing. And you want to be properly diversified. So if you're keeping X amount of fiat dollars in the bank over here, you want to make sure that you have a certain level of gold over here. So if that goes away completely, well, you have the other that gets propped up, right? So it's a function of being diversified. You want to keep a minimum in there so that it can enable you to continue your current standard of living, those auto withdrawals. Maybe you have some auto deposits going in, etc. But for anything extra, personally, you do whatever you're comfortable with. But personally, I have a certain level of cash that is outside of the bank. And if I need to make a deposit, that's easy enough for me to do. So anything that I'm not willing to lose, I actually pull the physical cash out of the bank because that is my very first line of defense. Though even on that, it's at a certain level based upon how I have to run my business, et cetera, right? Beyond that, personally, food, water, energy, security, barterability, wealth preservation, community, and shelter. Aside from all of those mantra pieces, this is what I'm in because of where we are in the trend cycle. And the fact that I've studied currencies and currency life cycles since 1987. Who do you know that has done that? And when you see these repeatable patterns, I can't guarantee what's going to happen tomorrow, but I don't know. You tell me, if something's happened the same way every time and we're doing the same thing, do you really think it's going to be different this time? Because I don't. So if you position properly, just based upon those historic patterns, then you are more than likely to be in the right place at the right time with the right asset. And what you're in is the most liquid assets on the planet because they run absolutely no counterparty risk and they're used in every single sector. I mean, it is really that simple. That's why you see global central banks. Not only are they buying more gold than they ever have in history, but they're repatriating their gold and bringing it home. Because what do they know? If you don't hold it, you don't own it. And of course the banks don't want to talk about them. Why would they? They don't want you to know the truth. They don't want you to know that the most likely outcome in the future is for your wealth to get bailed in, either through hyperinflation or outright theft. Take your pick. If you don't hold it, you don't own it.
Thank you for joining us in this enlightening discussion with Lynette Zang. If you found value in her insights on managing your money amid global turmoil and uncovering banking secrets, please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe for more thought-provoking content, and hit the notification bell to stay updated. Remember, knowledge is key to financial empowerment, and we're committed to bringing you valuable discussions like this one. Stay informed, stay empowered, and take control of your financial destiny.